Hey y'all, what's happening? Let's get it crackin' on Sideway Media. Hey y'all, what's happening? Let's get it crackin'. Sideway Media. Sideway Media. Sideway Media.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's the Buddha here at the Sackway Media Studio. I got two guests here with me today. Miss Patricia Smith, Mr. Glenn Deary.
Hey, what's up?
What's up? They're here today to talk about a case involving their son with the corrupted justice system that's going on. But before we do that, you guys, I want to read something to let y'all know about Miss Patricia's son, a little history on him and how he grew up and where he come from and where he got to today. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to read this for y'all, let y'all know, because it's a little too much for me to be, remembering. I couldn't do it. But I'm going to read it for y'all. Rasheed Deshaun Deary Smith was born in Sacramento County. Growing up, Rasheed lived in Nashville and Texas. Until returning to Sacramento, he attended school in the Natomas District and transferred to Grant Union High District in his junior year. By the time he was in the 12th grade, his oldest brother was tragically murdered. Sorry to hear that. Rasheed struggled with peer pressure and fell short of graduation and decided to become an artistic barber. For sure. Rasheed was a ladies' man. We all know how that go. Right? With an old soul, though, who worked at 3B's barbershop in Del Paso Heights community, where the former chief of police came often to get his haircut, but was well known in Sacramento surrounding areas due to his popularity, designer cuts, dog breeding, spirituality. Many choose to show him forever love, young, older, kids. It didn't matter. Everybody loved Rasheed. Obviously, I could see that. They loved him to death.
Right.
Rasheed is the fourth of 5 generations born and raised in DPH community, Del Paso Heights, y'all. Y'all know that. At the time, Rasheed's life changed forever with his career and kids. He had been residing in Yolo County over 6 years when he was shot in the brain for reasons we have yet to know why. After Rasheed was recovering for months, law enforcement then came once to question Rasheed, but never returned. Wow. For the New Year's, Rasheed returned to Texas to visit the family. When a disagreement broke out and law enforcement was called, he was arrested for Sacramento's most wanted. Sacramento's most wanted, huh? Wow. It's still unknown who drove from Sacramento to arrest him. Then drove him for 3 days, y'all. 3 days they drove him. That's some serious shit right there, goddamn. Back to Sacramento without a valid complaint, a warrant, or probable cause. When Rasheed was booked in the Sacramento County, they changed his personal identification, convicted him of using other inmates' cases, criminal history, names, birthdays, all saying that Mr. Rasheed is the one who gave him that information. Why would a man give him that information, some false information? I don't understand. Coming all the way back from Texas, and then I'm going to give you some false information. I don't understand that. That's pretty deep. You know what I'm saying? That's tough. I just wanted y'all to get a little feel of who Mr. Rasheed was. Like I said, I have his mother here, and I have his older brother sitting here with me.
Younger brother. Younger brother.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh, brother.
You the baby?
Yeah, the baby brother.
Oh,
yeah.
you the baby.
Yeah, out of 4.
I hear you on that, man. Shit, I'm the second oldest, so I always mess with my brother.
Child.
Yep. First child was a mistake, though. I'm telling you, baby. I wasn't first born. Everybody know that. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? I want to talk about something first, man. Glenn, right here it says something about the district attorney's office being corrupt. what's going on with that, and why you see that on this case?
Well, with this case, I think it really started at the top, the head of the district attorney office. I mean, to me, it's just the paperwork with Rasheed. It's a lot of faulty paperwork just on this case. So I could say that it might be like that with a lot of people in Sacramento, or just overall the way they do their paperwork. A lot of it's more so like they are trying to cover it for each other, I would say. And I would say it's more so because we have had misconducts with the original prosecutor on the case. And just within that, he ran against his boss. And it's just stuff like that they were saying amongst each other, like just detailing it, like unethical, the dangerous, like certain words where you be like, you work with this person, you know? And it's like, if y'all in the same office for year after year and y'all name is on the same paperwork, I mean, to me, it's just like y'all all together.
Yeah, they all together. Public defenders, DAs, it don't matter. They be working together, trying to get convictions and everything else. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it be. You know? In a wrongful, district attorney's office. I mean, where is that person on that case right now? I mean,
right now, the original prosecutor on Rasheed case, he's actually not in the office no more. He ran against his boss for DA of Sacramento in 2019, going into the 2020 year, I believe. Right. And he failed that, and basically just amongst that campaign in that era of them running against each other, they were just dirting each other out. I mean, a whole lot of stuff was said just between their campaign ads and things like that, where it'll make you question, right, was y'all even partners to begin with type stuff, or was y'all working together because y'all kind of off and off for y'all to be going at each other like this?
Right, I understand that. Yeah, that's pretty deep right there. You know what I'm saying? District attorney's office. This district attorney was on the case the whole time, or after?
He was on it up until 2019. Rasheed actually had got an appeal granted to him to come back to court in 2019. But like I said, he had ran against his boss around that time. So when he started doing his campaign, a lot of dirt came out on him. So it's basically like they kicked him out the DA office after that. And, all the cases that he basically was controlling, I'm pretty sure was out of his hands at that point.
Yeah, got you. So like when he was convicted, or before when he was convicted, did that DA reach out to you guys or say anything to you guys? Come to the community and talk about anything?
Before he was convicted, he said some things. I mean, basically, he had another case he was handling, and he wanted my sister to be involved in it because it was in her neck of the woods, and he wanted her to be like a witness, and she wouldn't be involved herself in the case, nothing to do with her really actually at all. So with him having my brother on his case as the prosecutor, he was telling us stuff like, I'll make sure your brother get life in jail. Like telling my sister that kind of stuff. Or just, he was...
That's faulty as hell.
Yeah, he'll send, just the different emails to my mom of knowing how my brother's condition was, and he'll still say little things as far as like how you get him locked up, or he could basically, he got control, like power like that to do that kind of stuff. And
that's that corrupt bullshit that be going on in the justice system. They feel they do what they want to do, and nobody got nothing to say. And they just, as long as nobody push the issue, they gonna keep doing that shit. Yeah. They gonna keep pushing it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't shit you can do about it unless somebody stand up and do something. That's what we trying to do. We trying to let y'all know what's going on with this corruptive justice system. It's bad. It's bad, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. Yeah. Ain't really much you can do about it, Just bad business. How you feel about the judges, though? What, Patricia, their abuse in power with all this stuff in different cases, your son's case, they take advantage of people, use their power against people, and pretty much do what the hell they want to do. If a judge or the third appellate court make a ruling and the judge overrules that or don't do it, it's against the law, isn't it? I mean...
Yes, and the judge, I feel like they do abuse their power, and the abuse of power comes from whatever they feel. I think that whatever they feel that the case should be on the strength of the DA's office, that's what they do the case as, not more of so the evidence that's being shown in the case, and not only that, the power also comes from if the judge feel like you know I think more of what he's saying is life. I mean, like, oh, let me start over. More of him saying like what he's gonna sentence you to, 21 years to life. I mean, and every evidence that come in that supposed to be shown for as given for life.
Right.
I mean, it's not even presented to the judge, and then you have the DA back to what you were saying about the DA, how he comes in and how he says that he has all this evidence, as far as, the crimes were committed. And then, it's nothing shown, not the police report, not the crime report, no witnesses that come and say that, this is actually what happened. So I think that the judge just used the abuse part of it as far as, I want to say, more so, not just because of the DA's office. I think it's a lot of prejudice too within the judges.
Well, a lot of them are, I would say, former DAs. A lot of judges turn judges from being former DAs, so they kind of pick that side too. It works both ways, so that's how I look at it with them too. So it's like, I mean, I feel like the judges on his case is very pro DA as far as how he handled the case and with his feelings. And a lot of the time, like, I feel like judges just sentencing you off their emotion. And I feel like that's what happens in this case. Like, it's not by law, it's by my emotion, what I feel about you.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's wrong.
Yeah, excuse me. Going with what they want to go with, and just like, this is what we doing. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, well, what are we going to do? Because like I said, there's always a probation report, what they think that person should get or receive, what kind of sentencing, then next person. But then in the end, that judge is going to do what he want to do. Yeah. If the third, like I said before, if the third appellate court rule him to go home, if you don't want him to go home, you ain't going to let him go home. But you can fight that and go back and, you went against the law for doing this. It's kind of not understanding, but, So I wanted to ask you guys, when your son was in the hospital, I see he was in the hospital for a brain injury, correct?
Correct.
In the hospital for 41 days.
Yeah.
So that whole 41 days, he was never arrested. No police came to talk to him about any type of situation or nothing.
No.
The whole time he was in the hospital.
No, the detectives that were on the case, they did come to the hospital.
I believe they came
but
up here one
they
time.
did not ask us anything. They didn't question us. They didn't question Rasheed. They didn't question the family. They just came.
And they never handcuffed him
They
to a
never
bed or
handcuffed
anything
him.
like that. Like,
Wow.
as far as if he committed these crazy crimes or something, it's like, you'll get him now.
Right.
41 days, no handcuffs.
And no, we were at UC Davis Hospital that has their own personal police department and sheriff department.
Yeah.
So
In a case, if they was looking for him, then why wasn't no police sitting at that front door? No visitors, no this, no that. They didn't really have nothing on him, it sounds like to me. They didn't even have no idea, nothing.
right.
What was this man here for? Exactly. So you're saying that they went to Texas
To get him.
and arrested him.
Out the blue, let me sort of back up, because out the blue, when Rasheed came, he was shot June the 16th,
Right.
2011. He got out the hospital July the 27th, 2011. And after he got out the hospital, they never even came to our house or anything.
Wow.
I know we lived in Yolo County, but we also have Sacramento County houses too. So they never came to ask us any questions. Out the blue, like October, the end of September, October, they came and knocked on the door and said they wanted to question Rasheed about why he got shot. After I had talked to the detective on the case, and I had asked the detective, like, where's the warrant? If this was your son, out the blue, what reasons would you come and ask these questions and things like that? Treat him like, he's your son. The detective gave me his card and left.
Wow.
I never even talked to the detective since then.
After that,
After
nothing.
that, then he went to Texas to visit his family in Texas. You know, we have family in Texas.
Right.
And all of a sudden, they said that they had this most wanted warrant out for him, and, you know, they arrested him. By the time they arrested him, we looking for him for the whole time they said they arrested him. I mean, and this is like arrest him January the 8th,
No name in the system, nothing.
not the wrong name in the system.
Right, right.
And then when they said that they was going to drive him to Sacramento because he had a traumatic brain injury, by the time he got to Sacramento, it was like 5 days later. And when he got to Sacramento, I'm calling the jailhouse, and I mean, no Rasheed. They're just moving him from cell to cell, you know, and this is all documented. I mean, they moved him like 8 to 10 times in the jailhouse. So we never really got to see Rasheed even going to court, you know.
They, in the county jail.
In
They
the
kept
county
moving
jail.
him when he should have just been on the medical floor
Right.
and never moved from that medical floor. You know,
Yeah.
there's a medical floor there. I know that. So he should have never been moved at all. Just should have just stayed on that medical floor.
Right.
But the shit, that right there alone is a problem to me. You know, they just didn't care about his whereabouts, his health, or anything. Just, we're going to move him and put him with population when he should have been on that medical floor.
Right. He was having seizures. We do know through documentations he was having a lot of seizures. So, you know, Sacramento County, they're just, I mean, if we don't stand up to them, they're going to continue doing this.
Exactly.
And it's like I've been fighting for this for like 10 years. I mean, and I'm just asking like basic questions like, you arrested my son. Where's a copy of the warrant? Never got a warrant. You took my son to court and had him sitting in jail for 2 years before you convicted him. Where's the complaint? The complaint they gave me is not signed by a judge.
Nothing signed by a judge.
You said that he was on probation. The probation report you gave me, not signed by a judge, not signed by him. And then the juvenile probation that they're using right now, that they sealed, it says sealed on the probation report. It says that in 2007, Rasheed was convicted to 8 years. And I'm saying, well, then how did he being accused of a crime 3 years later?
Right.
He would still be in prison.
Right. Everything's all screwed up to me. It sounds like to me everybody's probably just running through them files and doing what they want to do. Somebody organized that to where we got to get rid of this, we got to get rid of that.
Right.
So when they come, they ask us, where's this, where's that? His public defender, his lawyer, he's going to want to see this, he's going to see that. Psh, let's get rid of this shit.
Yeah, maybe that's that unethical and all that stuff that they got to say about each other going on up there. Maybe that's the reason
And
why a lot of stuff getting,
Yeah, that's kind of tough, man. You know, it's kind of hard, you know, trying to understand it all. So when he went to trial, Glenn, I want to ask you, when he went to trial, right?
Yeah.
The jury, it only lasted, how long did it last? How long did the,
I believe it was 3 days. It started on November 17th, I believe. They had the judgment by November 20th, like the verdict of guilty, and then
wait, hold on. Hold on. That's not even, that don't even make no fucking sense at all. You in here for, what's the case?
you got 6 different charges.
60 charges. He's going to trial for what?
Attempted murder, robbery, firearm, felon with a possession of a gun, stuff like that.
So all these charges, and he's going to court for it. And you mean to tell me that they got a jury ready, picked the jury and everything, and got it ready, and the lawyers, the DAs, they all presented their case. They argued back and forth, closing arguments and everything in 3 days. 3 days on a serious charge like this, attempted murder. 3 days. Shit. I'll be still in the holding tank in 3 days.
See, the thing is, the judge had his saying he was ready to get the case over with. That was his saying.
Yeah.
So
That's what I get to it.
maybe the 3 days was all a part of their process. The judge, the DA, and the public defender.
But this, we talking about this man's life, and he said, "Let's get it over with." Where he had to go? Where was he going that he needed to get it over with in 3 days?
That's what we.
That doesn't make no sense to me.
Case, man.
You know, so 3 days trial was over. Right.
Sentenced him on Monday.
Wait.
Trial started on Friday. He
Right.
sentenced him. It's over on Friday. He sentenced.
They gave a verdict on Friday.
Yeah, they gave a verdict on a Friday.
Trial was over. How long did they deliberate?
I think it was like an hour. Or
Oh,
Yeah,
hell
probably
no.
like
2
2 hours.
2 hours. Yeah.
2 hours in deliberation on all these different charges. The main one, attempted murder. And it took him a few hours to come back with a verdict
Right.
and found him guilty.
And the thing is, during that trial, the judge, he would say little slick stuff where he would kind of, it was like, he had to make it out for the jury to understand how to convict him of attempted murder. But that was like, he was big on it because no gun was ever fired on my brother's behalf. So it's kind of like, to even convict him of attempted murder at that time, it was like the judge had to make it out to the jury to explain to them the best way to get it for attempted murder for him to be convicted. And it's like, it seemed unheard of because it seemed like you would just let them judge it off of their own mentality, like,
Right.
you know, what they think of the case. But just hearing the judge do different stuff like that, saying like, oh, I'm ready to get this case over with, kind of detail you that he had it out for my brother from the jump, basically.
Wow. On all that, 3 days, he go to court on a Friday, and he's convicted. I mean, he's sentenced on a Monday, a weekend. I mean, the man never even made it back to his cell yet, and he's already being sentenced. Basically, I never heard of that. That's tough. A Friday, you get convicted of these serious charges, and then on Monday you get sentenced. Probation department got to recommend their recommendation for his sentencing. Hell, the paperwork didn't even go to them yet. It's the weekend. So how the fuck did, they come up with this sentencing already, have it all prepared, got to be typed out by the clerks and every fucking thing else.
Yeah.
They did that over the weekend? They got some overtime or something?
Man.
And Herbin did that shit?
This whole case seemed like they've been putting in a lot of overtime,
Man.
especially just to keep him locked up.
That don't make no sense, and then turn around and sentence him on a fucking Monday. That's tough to me. I mean, how can you let that happen? The justice system. Anybody out there that's listening and watching this shit, who goes and loses trial on a Friday and gets sentenced to prison on a Monday? I don't understand that. We all confused here. That's why we're here trying to figure out what the fuck kind of shit was that. It don't make no sense at all to me. You know what I'm saying? Convicted, and then what? How long before he was sent off to state prison? How long did it take from the county jail after he was convicted? Herbin got him out of there, didn't they?
He was in prison by December the 3rd, 2015.
And he was
So a
sentenced on
week
what
later,
day?
November the 23rd, 2015.
Jesus
And he was in
Christ.
prison December 3rd, 2015.
So they hurry up and just get him out of here, transpack. Let's get him out of here before these people start doing this or filing motions and all this, et cetera, et cetera. They try to hurry up and get him to the state because when you're in the county and you get sentenced, you're state of the ward now. So they don't want to keep you there.
Right.
They want, because something happened, they can be sued or whatever. So they try to hurry up and get you to where you're going or where you're going to be housed. Or like I said, he went to DVI.
Yeah, but
DVI
Tracy,
was like, it's just a reception center, to evaluate you. Usually it take about 30 days to 60 days, to evaluate you and see where they're going to house you permanently.
Yeah.
But being that he had a medical condition,
Right.
he shouldn't have never, I don't think he should have never even went there. He should have went to a medical facility first instead of putting him with the population like that with a medical condition. He should never even go there. I want to ask you guys, did he, Patricia, you got all the files right there, so I know did he file an appeal?
Yes, he filed the appeal the day that he was sentenced. His public defender filed it on the same day. So, yeah, he did have an appeal.
Wow. And how long did that take?
It took 4 years. That's another thing with the abuse of power, is because the appeal was November the 23rd, and it wasn't answered until April the 3rd, 2019.
Jesus Christ.
But the good thing about that is that the disposition, it reversed 4 to 6 of the charges. Mm-hmm. And the charges that was reversed was the ones that were the 2 robberies, which was the motive. It took away the motive. Then they reversed him being on probation. So that shows, how did you guys use these probation reports to say this is what he did? When
Right.
and then they reversed the ex-felon. Okay, so then how did you guys enhance his charges for being an ex-felon? And then they erased the 2009 case, the case that they said they originally arrested him for. So if he didn't have a case in 2009, how did you guys come up with a warrant?
Exactly.
So it's like everything that they're saying that they arrested him for, the appellate court reversed.
Right.
So, and now he's sitting in there, and like you say, like I said, the appellate court reversed the 2 robberies. What is he in jail for?
Right. So when he was found guilty, how many years did they give him?
They gave him 21 years and 8 months.
21 years, 8 months. But when everything was reversed on his appeal, correct? Mm-hmm. He went back to court.
Yes.
Right. So expectantly, if everything was reversed, I got 21 years. I just did 6, 7, 8 years, whatever. You know, now I'm going back. I'm feeling good. I got my appeal. Everything is reversed. I'm expecting to go home.
Right.
You know, and boom, you end up going back on appeal. You see the same judge, because usually that's what happens. You end up going back on your appeal. You're gonna get that same judge. It might be 8, 9, 10 years later.
Yeah.
But that same judge is finna come up in there.
Right.
You don't want to go up in there and see like, oh shit, but there he is.
Right.
But knowing that everything was reversed, you feeling good. You feeling positive. What happened?
The thing was, with the 4 of the 6 charges that got reversed, the last 2 charges was in the judge's discretion. So it was a motion in play to drop the gun enhancement, which would drop 10 years automatically. It would have basically let him walk free at that time because it was connected. The gun enhancement is only connected because of the attempted murder. So those was the last 2 charges the judge had in discretion, was the attempted murder and the firearm with the felon of a gun for enhancement overnight.
Right.
So basically the judge, seeing how the case was already because he was on it prior, and he decided to say, well, I know this case very well already, without even giving my brother a chance, basically, and said, I'm not going to use my discretion to let you go free. Like, I know this case too well.
Yeah.
So, oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that right there, that's kind of what made him give him another 21 years and 8 months again. Or 4 months. So it was 21 years and 4 months, I believe.
Damn. So on top of the 21-8 he already had, another 21.
Yeah.
So that's like 43 years, right?
Yeah.
He's got 43 years. So they, even though that that everything was reversed, so you're supposed to knock off that 21 years. He kept that judge kept that 21 years plus another 21.
Yeah.
Am I understanding that correctly?
That's how I looked, and it was like that online and everything else. So,
Jesus Christ.
And the thing is, at the court date when he came back, it wasn't like he did a count time to say, well, he's been credited for this many years already, so I'm going to take this down to, he didn't add it up like that. It was just like 21 on top of whatever you like. He ain't mentioned the years he already did or the time he already
Nothing.
did.
No credit for this, no credit for that. I'm going to drop this. He didn't drop shit. Same judge now.
Yeah, same judge.
Y'all hear me? It's same judge. You go back. Sometimes these judges, they don't give a shit if the third appellate said let him go. They do what they want to do, like we touched on earlier, Patricia. Right. That's just the way it is. It's the justice system. Y'all get what I'm saying? It's the justice system. This man wins his appeal, get everything reversed, go back to court finally, and end up with another 21 years in 4 months. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
That's just like totally ridiculous. I don't understand all that. Right now, Rasheed is housed where?
He's in a Vacaville medical facility. And that was
California
another
medical
thing, too,
facility.
because if we go back to right after he was sent to Tracy, DVI, the reception,
Right.
you hear the crimes we tell you he committed, right?
Yes.
So those are kind of like level 4 crimes.
Yes, they are.
And during the trial, Rasheed actually asked the judge, can he go pro per, represent himself? Judge told him he's not intelligent enough. He don't got the...
Right.
I mean, this is somebody you telling basically like he can't go pro per, but he's qualified to get sentenced with a lawyer. Like,
That's crazy.
so if he wanted to represent himself, why couldn't he if he was so normal? But the brain injury right there, it's like they use that, even at DVI, to send him to a medical facility. The first facility after DVI was a medical facility.
Right.
But it's like you got level 4 crime, so why ain't you going to Folsom? some of them big San Quentin type prisons.
Right,
You know?
right. I understand
So,
that, definitely.
That played a big role in how they kind of worked the system of it.
Right.
Like, because a lot of the time when he was going through the trial, they would suspend his charges because they wouldn't be sure if he was medically fit to even come to court.
Right.
So it's like they suspended his trial 3 times. We had a neurologist that was a neurologist of 20 years come in there and say that he's not malingering. He know he's not faking. I've been a neurologist for 20 years. I would know if somebody faking. He said it out his words in paperwork.
Yeah. How many other doctors testified in Rasheed's behalf? Was there other doctors saying something?
I believe it was 3 or 4 doctors all together. All of them said one of the same common things was that he does have a brain injury, like a brain injury. Right. That's documented by every single one of them.
Right, right.
Some could say he was faking. Some would say, because they'll take the side of the DA, however it go. But the main one is somebody of 20 years in their profession. That's who I would kind of go off of.
Yeah, right. They got to, you know what I'm saying? And being, he was shot, right, in the brain, Patricia? Yes. So with that brain injury, is that what these doctors are going off of? Because from the bullet is what caused him to have these mental problems?
Yes.
Go ahead, because it develops, from my understanding, he developed aphasia.
Yeah.
Right?
Like the doctor he's talking about is the one that said that he wasn't competent to stand trial, and let's say this: with him having aphasia is only 5% in the world that survived this on the left side of the brain. Anyone that's been shot on the left side of the brain, it's only 5% that doesn't survive this. Wow! So when Rasheed was going through the aphasia stage, they were seeing this through the courts. I mean, and you say, how did they deem him competent to stand trial? Do you know that they used the subject of oral copulation? They went through a whole thing of, because he filmed something on the phone, and when it came to showing the phone, like everything they used, they still didn't even show the phone. So it's like, you deemed him competent, you overruled the doctor that said that he wasn't competent, and this is you guys' whole argument for a whole hour. And they're just talking about all the women, him being pimps and him. I mean, it didn't even have anything to do with the trial or anything.
Nothing.
So we just was like, okay then. So after they deemed him competent and the doctors were saying the different the different disabilities he had, the judge, like I say, abuse of power. You still overruled and said he was competent.
I mean, he had a $1 million hospital bill.
$1 million hospital.
$1 million hospital bill.
That's and plus 14 days
in the
total. 14 days in the coma. In the hospital, but a total of 41 days altogether. So that bill skyrocketed.
Yeah,
$1 million.
Skyrocket.
I mean, for you to think somebody faking, $1 million brain, putting back together, it ain't gonna be that.
That's deep, man. $1 million on just a hospital alone. So you can imagine what these guys are going through, let alone the corruption in the justice system. You got hospital bills. You got family. He has children, right?
Yes.
His son has children. The children are taking it hard. Mother, father, brothers, they all taking it hard, all behind what the justice system is doing. The corruption that they're doing, the DAs, the public defenders, sometimes they work with the DA. Yeah. You think they're on your side, but they're not. They're pushing you to take a deal. Take this deal. I think this deal is good. They work together. From my understanding, when he took that, first thing he did was took a deal, correct? He took a plea deal.
He took a plea deal, but we wasn't. The thing is, us as a family, like Rasheed, he got a brain injury. So my mom got his power of attorney. So a lot of the time she got to take over for him, talk for him, things like that. Sign stuff for him. He ain't all the way there. He lost his whole right side during the injury. Right. So basically, with the deal, they shut the courtroom on us. None of us was there to even see if he we just heard about it. Like, oh, he took a deal.
Knowing that this man, the doctors already said that he has something going on.
Yeah.
Right.
Let alone he got aphasia.
Right.
So he definitely can't do things on his own. He needs somebody to be there. So they talked him into
But the thing was,
somebody.
We wasn't there.
Nobody
So,
was there.
Right.
Like none of the family members.
We don't
like,
even know if he said it.
Yeah, like
Right.
I mean, because when we tried to open the door, they locked it. So we were beaten at the same time they were saying he was taking the deal. So by the time they opened the door, they said that they had took him back. So it was nothing that.
You guys was banging on the door,
Right.
and they wouldn't even let you guys in.
No.
By the time they get into it, like we get in to see what's going on, it's like, oh, he already took a deal. Court already over. Y'all can basically
Right.
go home.
And you're his
Power of
power of
attorney.
attorney, and they wouldn't even let you. Did you even know that he was getting ready to take? You didn't know that he was getting ready to take the deal.
No.
You're his power of attorney. They should have came to you and let you know, Mr. Rasheed is getting ready to take this deal. He accepted this deal. You're his power of attorney, so you're supposed to know. You was the one that's supposed to negotiate that, maybe, possibly,
Right.
in the first place, without his public defender, and then you're banging on that's crazy. This is, that's tough. That's tough to deal with. I probably would have kicked that fucking door in. Y'all gonna take me to jail too because y'all finna let me up in here. My son is up in here, and you telling me I can't come up in here?
That's how it make you feel, man. They
Jesus.
kicked her out the courtroom
Right.
and did all kind of stuff. And she's his power of attorney, like
Right.
officially in paperwork. So she should be able to represent him in any way of him representing himself. So if Rasheed has something to say, she should be coherent to being able to say the same thing.
Yes, sir.
And it's like basically they took all that away from her. And I'm saying like she could send them a motion, a paper, anything that's filed under his behalf as if he was in jail, however it go. And it's Rasheed because in legal paperwork documented she is power of attorney.
Right.
That's tough.
But they
man.
denied it. I mean, if I wear clothes, like I wore clothes to see if an attorney could help us. I was like, my son disabled, have a face. Can you please help us? And the judge said, you cannot wear that. He was gonna put me out the courtroom. I was always put out the
Free
courtroom
my son
because
shirt.
of
She wear a free my son shirt. They gonna put her out the courtroom.
Really?
Yeah, you can't wear that in here.
Damn, that's
getting people to
fucked up.
believe that you trying to
Right.
raise awareness to get your son out of jail type of stuff. Like what?
I was always thrown out the courtroom for their reasons. And I used to be like, okay, then.
There's something else, man. And I understand he faced over this whole case, back and forth to court, trial, everything. He faced 19 different judges. Am I hearing that correctly? Is that true?
19.
19 different judges on a case?
Different
19.
one. It seemed
What
like
was the reason for that? Why is there so many judges?
none of them wanted to really be a part of the situation as far as like they kind of knew something, like
Exactly.
like maybe I send it to another judge, let him deal with it, like one of them situations, and it was just lingering.
Keep coming up with excuses why they can't handle this case.
Yeah.
Judge
Even
after judge.
I think a lot of the judge too, like in the beginning, was feared because the public defenders that was originally supposed to be representing them was telling the judges like, I can't help him on his case. It ain't nothing he can
Right.
do for me. So a lot of the time they be ready to fire themselves. Like, I don't want to represent you knowing that there ain't nothing that you could do to help me win your case, basically.
Wow.
So, I mean, I feel like that's where a lot of judges probably ran from. Like, oh, they telling me he handicapped, and if I deal with it and do the dirty stuff that the other judge I'm just pass to the judge,
Yeah, that's pretty deep, man. I don't understand all that. That's tough. Everybody got to understand where people stand in their life. They basically, the justice system, they play with you. They do what they want to do. We keep talking about that, but it just keep going in my mind. Like, how can you guys do this shit?
Right.
And then there's people out there just sitting back with their hands folded. Just is that something to do or what? Who do we go to? Who do we fucking talk to try to get this fixed? Get up in that system and find out what's going on. And why this? Why that? Why is this happening? How does this happen? All these wrongful convictions and, with no evidence whatsoever. In this case right here, he was arrested for robbery, attempted murder, and then he was shot at the same time. Yeah. Where's that person? Why this person ain't in here? He was shot. Did anybody even say anything? Why he was shot? Why he wasn't shot? All they worried about, it's a robbery. He got shot. We going to get him. They going to drive all the way to fucking Texas to get this man with no evidence. Yeah. No ballistics. No nothing. No DNA. So from my understanding, what? So it was some false information on the DA's saying that that his test was positive or negative. Was there a difference in that? Something was going on with that, right?
Right. The evidence or the forensics, the DNA said negative to the gun. The gun never fired, and the gun never had a full comparison. And the DA is the one that filed something in the court that said the DNA of Rasheed's was positive. And so they, took that notice and convicted him.
That DA said it was positive, but the paperwork said it was negative.
Yes.
Well, did anybody ever see that paperwork? What the fuck happened to the paperwork?
They see the paperwork because it's part of the appeals case.
Wow.
It's part of all his files. It's public records. If anybody want to see his DNA, they could go right to the third district appellate court,
Right.
and it's the documents that they use to actually keeping him in prison right now.
So the negative DNA, none of that was in court. Was it even allowed in court? Did they throw things out of court that would have helped your son?
Well, the thing is, as far as like how his court was going, you was touching on it earlier, saying that the DA and the public defenders kind of work together. There'd be things said in court where it's like the judge would tell the public defender like, "Hey, you could throw this out and have it thrown out if you wanted to." Nah, we'll just keep it in there, like, and it'll make us like, why would you? He's telling you what's good, like, So it's like when you got a public defender he wouldn't even come to talk to us at the court. Like, I mean, he'd go through the court date. Normally, you got the family outside the court date, want to talk. Like, hey, why did you do what you did? Why did you say this? Or what's going to be happening next? Not one time before court, not one time after court. And if it was, he was rushing. Like, yeah, I could do it. I'll talk to you guys later. Call me later about it. And he'll be like, and like, that just happened just now. Like, why did you say that? Why did you do this? So it's like we went through that the whole time with the attorney that was on the case.
Yeah.
And the DA, he wasn't no better, so it's kind of like they was working together against my brother, basically. I look at it.
So coming back on his appeal, in this case, he was resentenced again. That judge that resentenced him again, and the first time, that judge is still in office?
No, he's not. He actually retired. Talking to my brother, new attorney, he informed us that the judge on the case had retired because my brother had got granted an 1170 motion. He was supposed to come back and see the same judge. But if you look online and you read the motion, you can see that in the attorney general statement, it basically told the judge, like, you're not allowed to use abuse of power this time.
Right.
With the sentencing, as he did last time.
Yeah,
so
shut his ass down.
it seemed like all of a sudden he just retired, and it's like, more so, is it because my brother got to come back and you got to face him and you can't use your power to show what you've been doing in this case, or you really would have to release him, So he was supposed to originally retire in 2027. He retired in 2022.
Wow. Is this the same judge that had the delayed cases, a lot of delayed cases that I read up about?
Nah, actually that was another judge. Basically that judge, it was during the appeal process. Like we told you, my brother filed his appeal the same day he got sentenced.
Right.
He didn't come back to 2019 for appeal. So in 4 years, it took 4 years to get an appeal back. So we always wonder why it was so delayed, what took so long. And recently a judge was just basically resigning himself because of punishment because he delayed over 200 cases in the last 10 years over the Sacramento district. So we would just guess that over the last 10 years, my brother been locked up, his case had to be one of them because it wouldn't take 4 years to get an appeal back.
No, it wouldn't. That's ridiculous too. I mean, it's the justice system. That's why we sit here talking about it. It's the justice system. Again, they do what they want to do, and it don't matter. Until somebody fight against them and go at them, they're gonna continue to do that. We gotta come together and find a way. It's out there, but we find that right way, and we gonna get that man home. You know what I'm saying? Where he deserved to be home with his kids. You know what I'm saying? His family, his mother, his brother, his little brother.
Yeah,
That's just where we stand at with it. Right now, you say he's currently incarcerated at CMF, Vacaville.
Yes.
Right, California Medical Facility. I'm thinking of CMF. That's California Men's Colony. No, CMC is California Men's Colony. CMF is a
The medical facility.
medical facility down there in Vacaville, right? So right now, is he sitting and waiting to come back to court, or what are we trying to do?
Well, we had a motion in play for 1170 motion, and he's supposed to be coming back around December 18th, somewhere around there. But the thing is, the DA office just asked for an extension, and they knew about this motion in June. Just think it's November now or December now, and they knew about this motion in June and had a brief ready for why they feel like he should stay incarcerated for attempted murder.
The DA asked for an extension?
The DA asked for an extension after knowing about the briefing that he should have had ready for November 18th.
Right.
Or November 18th, and then Rasheed's attorney now is supposed to be ready by December 18th. So that was going to give him a month. But the DA recently on November 18th just asked for an extension. So they gave him the extra 3 months, 2 or 3 months.
Wow. So how does his lawyer feel right now? I mean, on the case, do he feel like it's a possibility that he's going to come home? Do he got enough?
Well, I think the lawyer is just going along with what the prosecution is wanting to do. And so he's just telling us things in order to make it sound like, he's fighting for Rasheed, but he's really ineffective. Because the thing is because what they're fighting, when the appellate court, Rasheed won his 1170, and the appellate court said that he's supposed to have been out like a year or a year and a half before, they made their ruling.
Right.
So when the appellate court ordered for Rasheed to have a hearing, what they're doing right now is abusing the power, because they're instead of giving him a hearing, they're taking him right back through the same proceedings that they just took him through.
Right.
So it's like I'm asking his attorney, shouldn't he go straight to the hearing? I mean, is there a motion where you could just say that, he could appear in court with the hearing so they could vacate, the charges that's supposed to be vacated, and also reverse what the justice has said to reverse? So, I mean, why is they taking, and why would the DA's office need 90 days to write the same thing that he just wrote that the appellate court just answered?
Right.
So it's like, are you fighting or aren't you fighting? And right now it just looked like ineffective counsel, because I'm even telling him that everything that's filing is it Rasheed or isn't it Rasheed? Because everything you done filed is with another inmate's name on it. I mean, everything they're filing is with an inmate's name on it. So is this a delay? Violation of due process?
Yeah, another inmate's name. Like you said, they changed his birthday a couple times. They changed his whole identification. Like if you look up at DMV, it's a whole different number. I understand.
Right.
Right. It's in the reports.
Right.
How do the DMV change his number, his ID number? They change his number in the county jail, at the medical facility. Everything just keep getting changed and changed around to where they can't find anything. All his files is missing.
Even now, like last time he came back, they had his birthday wrong on the bracelet. Like he been locked up from 2013 to 2019. He come back and his birthday still wrong on the bracelet.
Still can't get it right.
Yeah, it's like they purposely doing it or something, or trying to get him lost in the system or change or something like that. Because it's like if a person locked up for 7-8 years, y'all should have every file on him to know exactly who he is. Like it wouldn't make sense that your birthday is still wrong.
Yeah, that's.
Well, not only that, just even on the paperwork alone, they're saying that he's supposed to go back to court for a hearing. They have another inmate's name on here, and I'm saying, you guys, this done been through appeal, reappeal, and everything else. How do you guys, from the courts, how do you even make a mistake on who he is? This is a whole case that's 2012.
Right.
How do you guys keep adding names to his paperwork?
Right, and I see you have not only this paperwork, but you have a whole file right here. That's everything. That's the whole case, right?
Right. This everything in this booklet shows every error there is that he's in prison for. I mean,
Yeah, tell us about some of those errors.
Some of the errors are like such as the DNA, like I said, is negative, but you guys got him in jail saying positive. I mean, you guys have him. He had California identification. You guys changed his identification. He has one social security number. You guys have him up under 2 social security numbers.
Wow.
I mean, you guys have, even on his legal status summary, you guys have it to where he have enough days to be discharged. Every time I write and say he has credits for 19 years, why can't you guys release him? It's like, well, if the courts don't tell us to release him, then we can't release him. And I'm saying, you guys have, even, and what's even crazier about this case is that I have received a partial, the crime report. The first crime report, they deleted, and it says it right here. And they changed one of the numbers at the end. And then the crime report that they have him in prison for is set up as a murder. And I'm saying, well, how did you guys write a crime report of the murder? And the person that they have murdered, they were a witness in court. So my thing is that I'm trying to get the sheriff department or whoever it is that we could reach out to say, look at this crime report. This crime report is saying she's murdered. If you look at the paperwork right here, they say that she came to court as a witness. So how
in the
is
case.
Yeah.
But this young lady has been murdered, but they saying she was a witness in the case.
No, it's reversed. It's like she's a witness in the case, but they saying she's been murdered.
She's a witness in the case, but they saying she's been murdered.
Yeah.
Right.
This witness never even touched the stand.
No, she came to court, but she said that
two witnesses touched the stand and testified. But the thing is, they didn't like identify him. They didn't say like, "Oh, we know him."
There you go.
It wasn't nothing like that. It was just they said what they said.
we never seen them.
Yeah.
So with this appeal and everything going on, now they saying this lady is gone.
Well, she never even came to the sentencing. I don't even think after she came as a witness, she didn't want to have anything else to do with it because, I mean, even in the paperwork of them saying the lineup, did this person do it? No, this person didn't. I mean, they have all this paperwork in the public records.
He was in a lineup, and the witnesses that actually came to trial, in the lineup, they did not identify him. No. And they found him guilty still.
Right. Well, that's why I say it's abuse of power through the courts.
Yes,
and like
it is.
the judge kept saying, is that I know this case too well. The judge kept saying, this case should have been over. Even when I hired the attorney to walk into court, he was like, I'm not going to let this attorney be on the case. I don't know if he's an attorney or not. I don't know who he is in court. And we was like...
You hired an attorney, and this judge denied him the case, would not allow him to represent your son.
Because he was too ready to get this case over with in his words. Like, basically, we did it. We hired him regardless, so we should have been able to represent him. But the thing is, as soon as he was coming in during the trial to represent my brother, or a little bit before the trial to represent my brother, it was like the judge denied him. Like, no, you're not finna take over this case now. And like, we already ready to get this case over with. So
that don't mean I don't give a...
What?
Yeah, like,
I don't give a shit because we ready to get it over with. I have a problem with this public defender. I need him gone. He is not representing me well. I need to get my own attorney so I can be represented well and we can proceed with this case. And you're going to tell me I cannot hire my own attorney? That's some backwards. I'd have been in there fighting. I ain't even going to lie. I ain't even going to lie. I probably would have cussed the judge out and they probably would have had to handcuff me and take me on back because I would have been talking shit. Mother, what you mean? How you going to? This is my lawyer. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on.
Because I wasn't going off like that. I would just get up. And another thing I think they were mad at too is because like when they just get up and they be like, you know, attempted murder and robbery and things, and I'd be like, object, Your Honor. What firsthand knowledge do you know of the case, or can you read his warrant or his complaint?
Right.
I'd just be asking everything and. He'd be like, you could leave out the court. And I'd be like, okay, then.
But she shouldn't have area right because she is power of attorney.
Power of attorney.
I just wanted to know,
The one person that should never been denied out of that court is Patricia because she is his power of attorney. I'm still lost. I've just been lost on this whole thing. Like, this is You know what I'm saying? It's twisted. It's totally twisted, and we got to get to the bottom of it. You know, we trying to let y'all know what's going on with the justice system. Period. You know what I'm saying? Because it's tough. There's a lot of people.
I read something online that said Sacramento might have the highest percentage of appeal cases won.
Wow.
Like, it might get the most appeals overturned in the county.
Did this attorney that he denied, did he ever get to take the case?
He had to do was it the appeal? He had to do the appeal
he did the appeal, but it was ineffective counsel according to just the reports. You know how like it's more that you could do in a case, but you decide that when you talk to the DA that you just gonna do a limited part of it, especially when you could have got the appeal done for free, but then you paid thousands of dollars to the appellate court, and it goes as far as just not even having him to where he could stay in Sacramento.
Right. I understand that. That's deep. So right now, like I said, we're waiting, right, to go back to court.
Yeah, we got till February where they just put that off, but hopefully, God timing, it'll be home sooner than that.
Right. And this attorney is still on the case, or you have someone else.
The public defender, they keep reassigning the same public defender to the case.
Oh, God. The same public defender that went to trial with him.
Yeah, because we done reached out to so many attorneys, and every attorney says, we don't take these kind of cases. We don't take these kind of cases.
Or better yet, they ask what's his X reference number, and once they see it, won't hear back from him after that.
Right.
So they see that X reference number, and then they go check his file and be like, nah, too much corrupt business going on here. 19 judges. They looking at his file like, 19 judges, 3 public defenders, no witness, no evidence, no DNA. District attorney left the case. District attorney's now a white-collar crime attorney. Everybody's leaving and bouncing and going where they want to go and getting the hell away from this case. Because they see, looking at my paperwork, looking at her paperwork, it's a lot of corruption going on in here. You just got to keep looking.
Even with Rasheed case, it's a lot of former cops, a lot of former DAs, former judges, former what you call them, counselors, former counselors. Like, it's like everybody that come across this case become former, or they don't want no parts, or they just all of a sudden retired or something like that. Even the wardens at the jails then retired. Like, all of a sudden he get to their prison, a year later they retired.
Right.
And can I also mention too is that he's sitting in jail doing 21 years and 8 months, 21 years and 4 months. He didn't never even go to trial for the case that they have him in prison for. The case that they have him with all his prison numbers on, which is 2011, they never even jury trialed the case. It's no transcripts. It's nothing.
They just gave him the time and gone. You're gone.
They used the 2009 case and said that they jury trialed it, but that case, it was a case 2009. They jury trialed it in 2015. That's 6 years later. The case had already expired.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the case that all the information is on is the 09 case instead of the 2011. So.
Jesus Christ, that is deep. That is deep, y'all.
Abuse of power.
Yes, it is.
How do we reach out, and how is it that we could just actually have it to where we could go speak to the DA? I mean, my thing is that if I'm a abiding by citizen, I pay my taxes, I'm out here with these kids every year raising and saving them, and my thing is that if there's other organizations and programs that you guys could come out and speak to the kids and ask us to come volunteer in you guys' district attorney's office, then why is it that you can't look at the paperwork with your name on there, with your information on there, and saying that
this is why I did this. This is why I signed this. This is why this happened.
Right.
Like, we ain't got no answers for that. And, like, the DA name is on all his paperwork.
Wow.
And then the thing is, your former colleague is not with you no more. So it's kind of like his name is on all the paperwork, like your name on all the paperwork. He kicked out your office because he ran against you. He was unethical to you. Help us understand how y'all both, like, Some of your signature's not on there.
at all.
And
You ain't got nothing to say.
yeah, but you ain't got nothing to say about it.
Nothing to say on why their signature's not on there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then try to point it at somebody else. Have somebody else take care of it. You know what I'm saying? Talk to somebody else. I don't want to talk about it. Or they leave office. Right?
Yeah.
You know, so they can hurry up and get up off of this before the corruption come down on them. And then they lose their goddamn jobs and all that. You know, they're going to get up out of office, retire, and all that. Change up on you. You know what I'm saying? I'm out of mind, out of sight. Ain't got to do with that no more. You can't come after me. I didn't do nothing wrong. Yeah, you did. You did a whole lot wrong. You've been doing wrong for years. You've been doing these men wrong, women, and everything else in the justice system. You know? Hell, a pack of cigarettes get your life. Or stolen pack of cigarettes nowadays, you know? But some people, you know, steal a bike and get probation, you know? But you steal a pack of cigarettes, depending on who you are,
Yeah.
you finna do some time.
Right.
Same case, same charges. He got community service. He downtown picking up trash.
Right.
True.
Same case, same charges. This person is in prison for 10 years.
Same age, same everything.
Same everything.
Just like that.
And that's just, you know, how it is, you guys. You know, this is a tough one, you know what I'm saying? But hopefully everything pulled through. You know, I'm definitely going to give you guys an update. You guys out there watching the Sackway Media Studio. It definitely will be a part 2 to this case, so we can let you guys know what's going on with it and where we stand with Mr. Rasheed Deary Smith on this case. Hopefully the next time we talk to you guys about this and Patricia and Glenn come in here and talk with us and let us know what's going on, hopefully that man is home with his children and everything. But remember, you guys, that man had $1 million hospital bill. That man has kids out there, you know, that need him. Legal fees, court fees, everything is incorporated on his power of attorney. This young lady is taking care of everything possible that needs to be taken care of. So I'm going to ask you guys and let you know, if you guys want to help Rasheed's legal fees, filings, please donate to the Cash App, $ New Levels Clothing. You know, anything to help with the legal fees, whatever you can, it doesn't matter. Just, you can even reach out and just say, hey, everything going to be all right. It doesn't matter, you know what I'm saying? But that's what we need you guys to do.
Man.
Huh?
I said we'll take
Just
prayers,
anything will help this family with their son. Bring him home. We trying to get that man home. All right? Mr. Buddha from the Sackway Media Studio. We're going to get ready to get up out of here, but I definitely going to get back at you guys. And we out.
Appreciate you having us.
Thank you. Justice, justice, justice.
Thank everybody for coming and watching, seeing our show. We will be back at you guys in a little bit. Part 2.
Hey yo, what's happening? Let's get it cracking on Sackway Media. Hey yo, what's happening? Let's get it cracking. Sackway Media. Sackway Media.